Hello friends, myself kadu, and today we are going to discuss about the 7th standard topic of math, that's the circle. Okay, so this is nothing but the 11th chapter, that is the circle, on your page number, that is the 75. Okay, now what's the subtopic? Subtopic is nothing but the circumference of circle. Circumference of the circle. Okay, now what is the circle? Circle is nothing but the closed figure. What is the circle? This is a circle, okay, with the proper center. Okay, so this is our circle. So on your page number, the diagram is given, that is with center O. Okay, this diagram is given on your page number 75. Okay, we are going to discuss the three parts of the circle. Okay, now first of all, that's a radii, then diameter, and then chords. Okay, we are going to discuss these three parts of the circle. Okay, now this is the circle with the center O. Now what is the center? Center is nothing but the, what is the center? Why O is the center? First of all, because the distance between the every point on this circle, if measured from the point O, then the every point on this circle is equally distance. Okay, for example, consider this point F. The distance between the O and F is equal to the distance O and B. Okay, so the every point on this circle is equally distance from this point O. So this O is nothing but the center of the circle. Okay, now what is the radii? Radii. So how many radii are here? The radii, that's the OB is the radii. Means the distance between the center of the circle and the point on the circle is nothing but the line joining the center of the circle and the point on the circle is nothing but the radius. Okay, so OB, OC, OF, that's the AO, these all are nothing but the radii. These all are the radii, means the OB is the radius of the circle, OF is the radius of the circle. Now, what is the diameter then? Diameter is nothing but the line segment which is joining the two parts, the two different parts of the circle, but which is passing through the center of the circle is nothing but the diameter. Here the CF is the line which is joining the two points on the circle, but passing through the center of the circle is nothing but the diameter. So the CF, the AB are nothing but the diameter of the circle. Okay, now what is the chords then? Chords is nothing but the line joining the two points on the circle, that's the E and C. Okay, A and D. Understood? That is the A and D is a chord. Why A and D is a chord and not the diameter? Because the line A and D, though joining the 2 points on the circle, but the line A and D does not passes through the center of the circle. That's why AD is the chord and not the diameter. Okay, so have you understand the basic difference between the radii, diameter and the chords? Okay, so what is the radius? The distance or the line joining the center of the circle and any point on the circle is nothing but the radius. Okay, now what is the diameter? Diameter is nothing but the line joining the any 2 points on the circle but passes through the center of the circle is nothing but the diameter. Consider that is CF, that is C and F. C and F are the 2 points. Okay, so this line joining the two parts of the on the circle. So our first condition is completed, but for the diameter this line should pass through the center of the circle. Okay, and the CF is passing through the center of the circle, that's why CF is the diameter. Okay, now what is the chord? chord is the any line which joining the two parts on the circle and which does not passes through the center of the circle is nothing but the chord. That's why EC joining the two points, that is E and C, on the circle but does not passes through the center. That's why it's the chord. Okay, so this is the radius, diameter and the chords. This is the basic of the circle. Okay, now we are going to discuss of the circumference. Okay, circumference of the circle, and also there is also the one thing, that is the area. Okay, now I just have to tell you that what is the difference between the area and that is the circumference. In the previous year or in the previous standard, you have learned that is a what you have learned, that is a perimeter. Okay, you have learned the perimeter. What is the perimeter? Perimeter, you have to find out the perimeter of the variance diagram. But what diagram? That's a closed diagram. For example, this is a rectangle. Okay, now you should find out the perimeter of this rectangle. For example, this is a square. Okay, then you should find out the perimeter of this square. Consider this is a triangle. Then you should find out the perimeter of this triangle. Also, you can also find out the area of a rectangle. You can also find out the area of the square. You can also find out the area of the triangle. Okay, so area and the perimeter are the two different things. Okay, in the previous lecture you have studied the perimeter, and in this standard you have to study the area. Okay, now what is the basic difference between the perimeter and area? Consider if you have to find out the perimeter of this rectangle ABCD. Okay, then you have to add this length. Okay, length AB plus length BC plus length CD plus length DA. This uses the perimeter. But if you have to find out the area, then this is the whole area you have to find out. Okay, you have to find out this whole area in the case of the area. So this same thing is applied to the circle. Consider this is the circle. Okay, this is the circle. Okay, if you have to find out the circumference, then you just have to find out this total length. Okay, this is nothing but the circumference. And if you have to find out the area, then you should find out this area. Okay, so this is the basic difference between the area and the circumference. And in this chapter we are going to discuss about the circumference of the circle. Okay, now what is the formula to find out the circumference of the circle? Circumference of circle is equal to 2 pi r. Okay, 2 pi r is the standard formula to find out the circumference of the circle. Okay, now what is the value of the pi then? If it's given in the problem, then it's okay, but if the value of the pi is not given, then take it as the 22/7 or 3.14. Okay, the 3.14 or the 22/7 is the standard value for the pi. Okay, then what is the formula for the circumference of the circle then? That is the 2 pi r. Okay, so what we have studied? We have studied the what is the circumference and what is the area. Okay, we have studied about the circle. There is a chord, there is a radius and the diameter. And now we are going to solve the problems on the circumference of the circle. Now what is the first problem? That is the diameter of the circle is 14 centimeter. That's the question. The diameter of a circle is 14 centimeter. Find its circumference. Okay, find its circumference. Okay, so this is the basic problem. What is the formula for circumference? That is the circumference of circle is equal to 2 pi r. Okay, the 2 pi r. Okay, 2 pi r is the circumference of the circle. But in the problem, what we have got? We have given diameter of the circle. Okay, so 2 pi r. R, how we get r? That is the diameter divided by 2. That's a 40 divided by 2 is nothing but the radius. Okay, so 22 divided by 7, that is a pi. 2 to get cancelled, multiplied by 14, that's a 7 to the 14, that's a 44 centimeter. Okay, the 44 centimeter is the circumference of the circle. The one thing you have to note here, that is the unit of the circumference is also same as that of the diameter and the radius, that is only in a centimeter. Okay, but the unit of the area is always comes in a square. For example, if you have to find out the area of the circle, then it should come as that 44 centimeter square. Okay, so the area must be the unit of the area must be square, and the unit of the circumference is same as that of the radius and the diameter. It should apply to all the circumference, all the area and the perimeter of all the diagrams. Okay, so this is our basic problem, that is you just have to find out the circumference of the circle. Now for the second problem, that is circumference of the circle is 198 okay centimeter. Find out its radius and diameter. Find out its radius and its diameter. Now the circumference of the circle is 198 centimeter. We know that what is the formula for the circumference of the circle? That is circumference of the circle is equal to 2 pi r. It's a 2 multiplied what is the value of the pi, that's a 22 pi 7. What is the r? We have to find out the r. That's the r we have to find out, and the formula that's the value of the circumference of a circle is given, that's a 198. Okay, that's a 198. So r is equal to 198 multiplied by 7 divided by 22 multiplied by 2. Okay, that's a 22. 198 gives us, that is 9 multiplied by 7 divided by 2. That is 63 divided by 2. That is a 31.5 centimeter. Okay, so radius is nothing but the 31.5 centimeter. And what is the diameter then? Diameter is nothing but the twice r. Okay, so diameter is the 63 centimeter. So this is the radius 31.5 centimeter and diameter, that is the 63 centimeter. So this is the second problem. Now the third problem is the radius of the circle is 35 centimeter. Okay, radius of circle is 35 centimeter. Find its circumference. Okay, the formula for circumference of circle is equal to 2 pi r. Okay, 2 pi r. Just remember this single formula, that is 2 pi r, and in the case of the simple interest, that is I is equal to PNR upon 100. We have studied in the previous lecture. Okay, so circumference of the circle, that is 2 pi r. What is the value of the pi? That is 22 by 7. What is the r? That is the 35. Okay, r is nothing but the 35. 2 multiplied by 22, 7 5, so 35, that is a 5 by 10, 22, that's a 220 centimeter is nothing but the circumference of the circle. Okay, that's a 220. These are the basic problem, that the radius of the, they should give the radius, they should give the diameter and just ask for the circumference of the circle, or they should give the circumference of the circle and ask for the radius or the diameter, because in this formula only the two quantities are given. So they one quantity they provide and you have to ask the second quantity. Okay, now what is the fourth example, that is the circumference of circle is 62.80 centimeter, taking pi 3.14. Okay, the value of pi is given, that is 3.14, not 22 by 7, and find its diameter. They ask the diameter by taking the value of the pi as 3.14. Okay. What is the circumference of the circle? Circumference of the circle is 2 pi r. Okay. Now the circumference of the circle is given, that is 62.80. Okay. What is the pi? Pi is nothing but the 3.14 and r is same. As a 2 multiplied by r is nothing but the diameter. Okay. So diameter is nothing but the 62.80 divided by 314 gives in the division, that's a 3.14. So diameter is equal to what? That is 62.80 divided by 3.14. Okay. So by moving this decimal 1 by right side, that's the 62 by 1, just move this decimal by the single place, that is 31.4 into 10 to the power minus 1. Okay. As we move this decimal to the right side, so the power of the 10 is goes to the minus 10 to the power minus 1. That is 31.4 divided, that is 62.80 divided by 31.4, that is the 31.4 is nothing but the 2. Okay. So 2 divided by 10 to the power minus 1. When this 10 to the power minus 1 goes on the numerator, it becomes 2. That is the 2 multiplied by the 10. Okay. So the 20 centimeter. So what is the diameter then? Diameter is nothing but the 20 centimeter. You should learn this. You just have to learn this equation, or you have to just learn how this 10 to the power minus comes here. When it goes to the numerator, you should get positive. Okay. When we move this decimal by the one position, then it should be multiplied by 10 to the power minus 1. This we have done this because we know that the 31.4 multiplied by 2 gives us the 62.80. Okay. So to get the complete division, we just move this decimal point to the right side. Okay. You have to do this calculation in the exam so that you can get this answer of this question easily. Okay. Otherwise the calculation gets complicated. So you just have to do such moving of the decimal point. Okay. Now what is the next problem then? The next problem is quite lengthy. That is the radius of a circular plot the radius of the circular plot is 7.7 meter. Okay. How much will it cost to fence the plot with 3 rounds? With the 3 rounds of the wire. Okay. And the costing of wire is 50 rupees per meter. Okay. Now this is our problem. What is the problem? That the radius of the circular plot is 7.7 meter. Okay. The radius is given, that is 7.7 meter. How much will it cost to fence the plot with the 3 rounds of wire? For example, this is the circular plot. Okay. This is the circular plot. What we have given? We have given the radius, that is a 7.7 meter. And 7.7 meter is the radius of the circular plot. Okay. We have to do the fencing on this circular plot. Okay. Now how much fencing we have given? We have given the three layers of wire. Okay. That is the first layer, this is the second layer, and this is the third layer. Okay. This is the third layer. Okay. In this way we have to fence this circle. Okay. So consider this is a circle with a 7.7 meter. So to give the fence of the wire around this circle, you have to find out the circumference of this circle. It's very simple that we have to find out the circumference of this circle. There is only 2 things, that's whether we have to find out the area or we have to find out the circumference. But in this case, you have to find out the we have to fence the plot. Okay. We have to fence the plot. Okay. So the fence which is done on the boundary. So you have to find out the circumference of the circle. Okay. So circumference of circle is equal to 2 pi r. Okay, 2 pi r. So 2 multiplied by what is the value of the pi? That is 22 by 7. And what is the r? R is nothing but 7.7 meter. Okay, 7.7 meter. That's a 2 multiplied by 22. How we can get a 7.7? We have written in the previous example when we move the decimal to the right hand. That's a 77 multiplied by 10 to the power minus 1. When we move the decimal by one position, then on the right hand, then power of the 10 must be the minus. Okay, divided by 7. 7 1s are 7, 7 1s are 7. That is a 2 multiplied by 22 multiplied by 11 multiplied by 10 to the power minus 1. That is a 22 multiplied by 22 multiplied by 10 to the power minus 1. 22 is a 44. Okay. That's a 4. 20 is a 44. That is a 484 10 to the power minus 1. That is a 48.4 centimeter. Okay. This is nothing but the circumference of the circle. That's 48.4. Okay. This is nothing but 48.4 centimeter is nothing but the circumference of the circle. So the 48.4 centimeter wire is required to complete the one rotation of the fence. Okay, the one round of the fence, that's 48.4 centimeter wire is required. But in the given problem, what we have asked, we have to put the 3 rounds of the wire. We have to fence the of wire. That is, we have to give the 3 rounds of the fence to the circular plot. Okay, so this is the only for the single round. So for getting the 3 rounds, we just simply multiplied by it by 3. Okay, the 4 3 is 12. That is the that's the 145.2. Okay, that's 145.2. That's a 145.2 centimeter wire is required for the total fence. Okay, 145.2 wire is required for the total fence. Or this is the, or we can also do that. That's a 47.4 centimeter wire is required for the one round. Okay, that's a 48.4. And what is the cost for the wire per meter? That's a 50. Okay. So 48.4 multiplied by 50 is nothing but the 2420 rupees. Okay, that's a 22,420 rupees for the one round. Okay, 2,420 rupees for the one round, because for the one round that's a 48.4 centimeter wire is required. Okay, 48.4 centimeter wire is required, and for the and what's the cost of the wire? That's a 50 rupees per meter. So by multiplying this, we can get the cost of the one round. That's the 2,420 rupees for the one round. And how many round we have fence about the plot? We have to take the 3 round. The 2402 multiplied by 3, that is 204,020 rupees multiplied by 3, that is 303, 3 2 6, 4 3 12, that is 2, that is the 7,216 rupees is the total cost for the fencing the circular plot. Okay, so here we have to find out the circumference of the circumference of the circle and find out the fencing or the wire required for the single fence. Okay, wire required for the single round, that's a 48.4 centimeter, and we can get the we can get the we can multiply it by the 15 per meter. Okay, we can simply multiply it by this 48.4 by the 3, so that we can get the total wire. Okay, and we can multiply this total wire by the rupees 15. We also get this value, that is 7,216 rupees also same. Okay, so whether multiplied by this wire by 3 and then multiplied by 15, or multiplied by 48.4 by 50 and then again multiplied by 3, one and the same thing. Okay, so just to make your to make it easy, we just multiply it by the 3 firstly, and then we can multiply it by the 50 rupees. So what's the next problem? That the radius of the field of a bus. The radius of the field of the bus is 0.7 meter. Okay, it is 0.7 meter. How many rotation will will complete? How many rotation will complete with traveling a distance? The traveling a distance of 22 kilometer. Okay, now what is the problem here? Just concentrate on the problem that the radius of the wheel of the bus is given. Consider this is the road, okay, and this is the wheel of the bus. Okay, now radius of this wheel is given, that is 0.7 meter. Okay, now this total path is, the length of this total path is a 22 kilometer. The length of this total path is 22 kilometer, and we just find out that how many rotation this tire of the bus, means how many rotation of this tire of the bus is done while completing this 22 kilometer. Okay, so this is the point of the bus. Okay, when this will rotate, okay, when this will rotate, this points gets rotated, and when the one rotation gets complete, when this one rotation gets complete, means when this point comes, when this point goes in this direction and again comes this point. Okay, so this distance is nothing but the circumference of the circle. Okay, when we just cut this, for example, when we cut this circle, this, and when this along this on this side, means we get the single straight line. Okay, means we can say that the circumference of this circle is we get in a single line form. Okay, from this point to this point, this distance is covered nothing but the circumference of the circle. Okay, this is nothing but the circumference of the circle. So we can find out just the circumference of the circle, so that we can find out this distance. Okay, this distance is nothing but the single round of the circle, and when we divide this total 22 kilometer by this single circumference of the circle, we get the total rotation of the wheel, which is used to complete the traveling of the distance. So first of all, we have to find out the circumference of the circle. Circumference of the circle, that is the 2 pi r. That's the 2 multiplied by 22 by 7 multiplied by 0.7. That's the 2 multiplied by 22 multiplied by 0.1. That is the 44 multiplied by 0.1. That's the 4.4. Okay, so this is nothing but the 22. Here the 0.7 is nothing but the 0.07 is nothing but the radius, that's the diameter of the bus. Okay, and 0.7 is nothing but the diameter of the circle, then again divided by 2, that's the 2.2. Okay, so 2.2 meter is nothing but the circumference of the circle. Okay, so 2.2 meter, that's the 2.2 meter is the circumference of the circle. Okay, now this is the circumference of the circle. Now how we get the total rotation of the wheel? That is the total distance is 22 kilometer. 22 kilometer is nothing but 22,000 meter. Okay, when we divide this 22,000 by the 2.2 meter, we will get the total rotation of the wheel. Okay, so this is 22 multiplied by 22. Okay, so when we divide the 22 kilometer, that is the 22,000 meter by the 2.2 meter, that is by the circumference of the circle, then we will get the 10,000 rotation. Okay, we will get the value, that is the 10,000. Okay, so the 10,000 rotation of this wheel will require to complete or to cover the 22 kilometer distance of the bus. Okay, so this is the our fifth problem. That is the when that the radius or the diameter is given. First of all, we have to find out the circumference of the circle. Circumference of the circle is nothing but this is the distance which is covered by the circle. Okay, so this is distance covered by the circle, which is equivalent to the circumference of the circle. And when we divide this total area, total length of the road by this circumference, then we will get the time at which the time which is used to complete the to complete the whole traveling the distance. Okay, so by dividing this we will get the 10,000. Okay, so 10,000 rotation of the wheel will require to cover the distance up to 22 kilometer. So these are the problems on the circumference of the circle. So what is the basic problem, basic formula, that is the standard formula, is nothing but the 2 pi r, that is circumference of the circle. This is when the radius is given. Okay, when the radius is given and when the diameter is given, then it is the simply that is a pi d. Okay, 2 pi r or the pi d. Why? Because the diameter is nothing but the twice r. Okay, diameter is nothing but the twice r. So this is the problems on the circumference of the circle.